Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. It's been a while, but let's get into it. Tabitha Brown has been under scrutiny a lot lately from, how they do their marriage, how her and her daughter's relationship is, and how her daughter is living an alternative lifestyle, and etc. But today she's under scrutiny because she's been called a witch. And we all know how Christian media gets when that term witch gets thrown around, right? And I wanted to really speak to that. And before I do, let's check this video out. Let's get it.
Important thing. And
You know you're a witch, right? Like,
a what?
you're a witch.
Oh no, I'm not a witch.
Witches are good things.
Yeah, but I just don't go by that.
Okay. I mean, it's different words for the same
Unless you cast me as Glinda in the new Wizard of Oz.
thing. In which
Kenya.
case?
In which case, I'm
I say
available.
that in the context of
Yes.
when I was in college, I had a professor say to me, "You're a witch." And I was like, okay, same. I was like, why would you say that to me? And he was like, what I mean is that you have the ability to conjure the best from those who don't know they have it. And reveal the worst from those who think they're hiding it. And so he was like, you have a gift of sight.
Oh, I am a seer, right?
And so that was the context he was saying. So
Yeah.
he was like, you're able to basically work with the energy of the world in a way that other people may not trust themselves to tap into.
Yeah. I mean, that's been my whole life. I was born with a gift. I talk about it in my first book because I wanted to be clear.
Flex
with people.
number 2.
So you see how Tabitha was a little bit taken back, but not so taken back, but she did it in a gentle way of correction, like in the sense of like, hey, don't call me that. That's not what I call myself. I'm a seer. That's what I like to be called. And people didn't like that. People
He's destroyed both my cars! He's fired! You're fired! You're fired! You hear me?
didn't really appreciate how she didn't verbatim go and say, I'm not a witch. I have the gift of visions and prophecies. I'm not calling myself a prophet, but I like to use myself in the way of like a Daniel where God has given me visions. But she didn't do all that. She just said it kindly, nonchalant. Yeah, I don't go by that. And she plays it off with a little humor by referencing, hey, if you're going to let me be a witch in the next Oz movie, which by the way is a phenomenal movie. But anyway, then I'll be called that. But unless that, don't call me that, right? That was her sort of way of saying that. And a lot of people didn't like that. And I understand that term seer can be very convoluted at times because we're in a day of new agey and they even use that term now. And I wanted to really speak to that word seer. And that word seer is actually found in the Bible. And a lot of people didn't know that, but I wanted to point that out, teach it, and we sort of chop that up a little bit. But let's go ahead and get into the text. Let's go. Now it's coming from 1 Samuel chapter 9, starting at verse 9. This is when Saul's looking for the man of God. And this particular scripture is just strictly giving us a pinpoint of how we came from the title seer to now prophet. Let's read it. Now, it reads, formerly in Israel, when a man went to inquire of God, he used to say, come and let us go to the seer. For he who is called a prophet now was formerly called a seer. So we see here where that term seer is actually being used. It validated that the Israelites at that time were calling these people who were seers, who were gifted by God, seers, to be able to hear from God, see God in a special way. And I was studying, a lot of theologians, as a lot of scholars believe that this term was strictly sort of giving us an idea of the evolution of what a seer will probably have to do. Not just seeing visions and just saying it to the people what God is saying, but you see where after this, the prophet, the evolution of the job description is actually being made, where not only they're just seeing, but they're actually leading, instructing, teaching, rebuking, help structuring certain things, right? And that word seer in Hebrew, forgive me guys if I say it wrong, but roe, and I'm gonna put it up, roe, And it means vision. It means also the second meaning means prophet, vision, right? So don't get all bent out of shape because you hear that word seer from Tabitha. But I do understand the vexing there because of the new ageism that we have here in America. And I get it. And now they use prophet. And we should be using prophet, because if God changed it to prophet, there's a reason for everything, right? But to say that she is a witch, I think that's a stretch when it comes to Christians calling her a witch, because she didn't deny it the way that you would have denied it. But I do see her rejecting that title in her way. Now, is it something that how I would have did it? No, I would have did a little bit more bluntly.
Christ is Lord! Get out! Get out!
Doesn't mean that what she did was wrong either. But I want to know what you think. Yo, is she sort of playing this cat and mouse game to try to stay good in Hollywood? Is she trying to be somebody that she's not, and she's starting to get exposed? Y'all tell me, man, in the comments. But play fair. But until next time, grace and peace.